In this video, we're going to be talking about using leverage in the stock market, and in particularly, we're going to be talking about the Webull platform. Now, the Webull platform is a broker that I personally use to trade and invest in the stock market, right? So when it comes to using leverage in the stock market, there's something called margin. And margin is essentially capital that a broker will lend to a trader or an investor so that they could use those funds to put it into the market, right? And of course, there are, fees with that. It's essentially like a loan, right? So think of it like that. Now, the thing is, when individuals think about using margin, they always have this idea that, because I'm going to have more money to trade with, I'm borrowing more money, I can make more profits in the stock market. And in theory, that's essentially true because, of course, if you have more capital, yes, you can make more money, right? 1% of 10,000 is going to be less than 1% of 100,000, right? The number is greater. But what people tend to forget is that when you're using margin, not only can you make more money, but you can also lose more money, right? Because it magnifies the losses as well as magnifying the profits. So that's something I do want to put in your head. I just want to plant that seed. And I definitely want to emphasize that if you're going to be using margin, you have to use caution. And I don't recommend this for individuals who are just getting started in the market. But with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the Webull platform. Now, the Webull platform does let you trade up to 4 times whatever capital you have in your account, depending for what specific stock you're trading. Of course, we're going to go ahead and dive into the Webull platform and kind of look into that. There's going to be some stocks where they give you 4 times buying power, and then some stocks are just only going to give you 2 times buying power, right? And then, of course, we're also going to be talking about the difference between holding a stock overnight and holding a stock for just a simple day trade, right? So essentially, when it comes to the 4 times buying power, that's only going to be for intraday trades. Meaning, if I want to buy Apple stock and I have, let's say, $20,000, right? Forex for that would be $80,000, right? So essentially, I could trade in the stock market and buy Apple stock with $80,000 for the day, meaning I buy it and sell it in the same day, right? And of course, the percentage on 80,000 is going to be larger than the percentage on 20,000, right? So that's something, right? But when it comes to holding overnight, Webull doesn't allow you to use leverage overnight. They only allow you up to 2 times leverage for certain stocks, right? And that's simply just because when you're holding a stock position overnight, you expose your capital to overnight losses. Meaning, there can be a nuclear war or something that just triggers the market to initially just sell off, and then that could cause a catastrophic loss for your account. Which is why Webull does limit the amount of leverage that you can use. But leverage is a powerful tool that we can't ignore. I just don't recommend it for a lot of new people. But let's go ahead and look into the Webull platform. So we're over here on the Webull desktop platform, and we're over here on the trade tab module, right? By the way, if you guys want me to make a video on how I set up my, trading setup for Webull, make sure to leave that down in the comment section below. I'm not sure if that's something you guys are interested in, but I'll definitely be glad to make it if you guys request it. But with that being said, getting back on tangent, right over here we have ticker symbol SPY, right? So in order to see if you can use 4 times margin buying power or 2 times margin buying power, you can simply just do this little trick on Webull to see, can you use Forex money? So basically, you would just go to this little tab up here that says widget settings, and you would simply go over to this stock tab and then hit quotes. Right, and so that's going to add in this little box over here. Right now, we're just going to place this little box neatly in this empty space just simply because I have OCD, right? And then also, once we have this box here, you're going to notice that everything else says, and we could go ahead and X out this widget settings. Everything else says SPY, right? SPY, SPY. SPY. However, right over here in this quotes tab, it's going to say Apple stock, right? And the reason is because it's not linked in with everything else we have. So in order to link that in, you would simply click this little button right here, set as a group, and I have everything on group 1. So now you see we have it on SPY. So simply once you add that quote box in there, you could simply just go down to this little money icon, and here it's going to tell you, hey, for day trading buying power, there's 4 times, right? So if I want to buy and sell this in a day, they're going to 4x my money, meaning if I have 20,000, I could trade with 80,000, right, etc. And then it says overnight leverage 2 times, right? Because again, they're going to not want to allow you to have 4 times buying power overnight, especially, because it's leverage overnight. You're exposing yourself to what could happen overnight in the market, right? So that's something that is, there. So you could still use 2 times your buying power. So if you have 20,000, you can now buy $40,000 worth of this, and you could hold this for weeks, months, maybe even years, right? With the 2 times buying power. Again, when you hold something for more than 1 day using margin, you're going to be paying this margin fee, right? And you can see that the margin rate is 6.99%. But of course, it's not 6.99% per day. It's divided by 365 days. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go really too deep into math on that. Every broker is going to be different. However, when you do a day trade using margin, there's no fee, right? You don't have to really pay on this loan, essentially, that you're taking, because you give the money right back. It's only for how many days you hold that position with that loan. So whatever borrowed money you have, if you use it in the same day and then give it back in the same day, again, there's no fees, right? So this could potentially create opportunities. Again, you have to be cautious, but for individuals who would like to trade in the market with a little bit more money than they have, without having to pay any fees, any interest rates, nothing like that, and again, be able to make more money. Again, you could lose more money too. Right now, let's go ahead and go to another stock, and we'll go into ticker symbol SPCE, right, which is Virgin Galactic, and we'll go ahead and click that, right? And over here, if we go to the quotes box and we go to the little money icon, we see that the day trading leverage, or the day trade leverage, is only 1.67, and the overnight leverage is 1.67. So each stock is going to be different, right? Now, the reason why each stock is going to be different in the terms of how much you can use to borrow funds to trade that stock is because it really depends on the volatility of the stock, right? For example, right, they're not going to let you borrow 4 times your money for this stock because they consider this more risky, right? And we could kind of just map that out a little bit, or just analyze that. We see that, over here on 511 all the way up to this area of 620 on the 28th, right? We see that the stock did 331%. So in 1 month, the stock did 331%, which is very volatile, right? So you can see why a broker or a brokerage company, right, a trading platform, isn't going to want to let you borrow 4 times the money that you have in your account for something that could potentially do 300% in just 1 month, right? I mean, look at the chart on the daily. It just goes up, down, versus in comparison to something like the S&P 500, which is the ETF SPY, right? If we go back to the 4-hour chart and do 1 month, we're not going to be seeing 300%. I mean, we could even go back a few months, right? From 513 all the way to 827, right? 11% gain. So in 3 months, this ETF only did 11%. So you can see how this is much less volatile than the other stock, which is SPCE, Virgin Galactic, right? So this way, the broker will allow you to borrow more money because this is seen as less of a risk in comparison to SPCE, where they're not going to let you borrow 4 times for a day trade or 2 times overnight. It's much more risky. So that's pretty much how you can determine whether this is something that you're going to be able to use more leverage. So whatever stocks that you like to trade, you could simply just type it up, look for it, and see what it what it offers. For example, we could look at something very common like Apple, right? And we go to the money icon. Apple has, same as SPY, 4 times buying power and then 2 times overnight. And Apple is something where, it is, pretty reasonable on how it moves. Again, it's not going to do 300% in just 1 month, but it can be significant. For example, if we go to a 5-minute chart and we kind of zoom in, imagine just someone who has $5,000 in their account, right? Which, some people, that's really what they start for with trading in the market. And 5,000 times 4 times buying power is going to give you 20,000, right? So imagine you just simply buy in, let's just say at this area, and let's just say for the sake of the conversation, you sell around this area. That would have returned you or yielded 1%, that trade, right? So someone who had $5,000, they now got to enter this trade with $20,000. Let's say they did 1%. You're doing 1% on 20,000, which is $200 in a day. So with $5,000, you can make $200 in 1 day, right? Or really just maybe less than 1 hour, right? And so, it's very useful. It's a useful tool. Again, in trading, it is kind of risky to use margin, but it's definitely something that you can use to help expedite your growth with, growing your money or just trading or investing, right? Because again, imagine someone making $200 a day. If that was something that was consistent, $200 a day is equivalent to $60,000 a year. So you can see how, having a little bit of money while using margin can be, very useful. But again, you have to use it properly. So that's really what the context or the objective of this video was, to just kind of inform you guys about the margin that Webull offers, and also kind of demonstrate, how you can determine which stock will offer you, 4 times margin or 2 times margin for a day trade or a swing trade, holding overnight. Now, if you guys are interested in learning more on how to trade, definitely click the link in the description below, because there is a program down below where you guys could have video lessons, have access to how I trade in the stock market, as well as get to be able to participate in our daily briefings. And that's really where, we just talk about what's going on in the market, see, any potential plays that could yield some opportunity. And also make sure to check out the other links in the description, because one of the links is going to be a link for Webull, which is the platform that I was showing you over here. They do have a great mobile platform as well. And with Webull, it's definitely a great platform or broker to use to trade in the market or even invest in the market. I think it really offers a lot of tools for both types of individuals. And if you sign up now, you'll get 2 free stocks valued up to $2,000. Actually, when I first signed up with Webull, I got a free share of Google. And let's just type in Google real quick. We see that Google is now worth $2,891. So simply for signing up with Webull, I got $2,891. So again, you never know what free stock you're going to get, but it is worth it to get your 2 free stocks. And with that being said, guys, my name is Justin Fernio from Push and Profit, and I'll see you guys on the next video.